Welcome to the Dialogue with Moms and Pals.
Today is literally the last Sunday of 2019.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to share with you the power of trusting in the selection of God, of yourself by God.
Absolutely, and we want you to know that as an individual, you have quite a peculiar journey because God does not make mistakes. You have been created for a reason.
Not at all. God does not make mistakes, and his word never returns to him void. I'm going to give you an example of the Virgin Mary. So for God to actually begin to initiate a call upon your life, for God to say, this is the time for the peculiarity for which I have called you for to become manifest, there are certain traits that should become visible within your character. There are certain traits that should become visible within the make of who you are. And such was Mary. Mary carried divinity, and because she carried a certain level of divinity, she was ready to be a carrier of a Messiah. She was ready to carry divinity within her, because within her she had a certain amount of purity. Am I saying we should all be like Mary? By no means. But I am saying that for every call and selection and whatever God has selected you for, there is a certain preparatory elementary being that you have to create about yourself. There is a being that you have to become. There is a character trait that you have to inbuild from within. Before you even show it to others, you have to first convince yourself that I am ready to take on the journey that God will put unto me. And we don't always know what it is, but the day he selects us, we're going to understand why we needed to be refined. We're going to understand why we needed to go through certain finesses of life in order to become strong. Selection by God is something that is worthy, is something that is so paramount to all of us. It is important that we all understand why we are here. And as other people may seem special to God, we all are special to God. The question is, what is my specialty in the calling of God?
Absolutely, Moms. And you know, when it comes to this power of selection, what fascinates me the most is that God can actually hide it from you. You know why God hides it from us? Because he wants us to become, so that when we tap into his anointing and his calling, we are of an intact character. The story that inspires me the most when it comes to selection is that of King David. When Samuel was sent to Jesse's house to go and anoint one of his sons, Jesse, David's biological father, had no idea that such anointing would actually was actually meant for his youngest son. In fact, he had every reason to believe that it would be any one of his children but David, who, by the way, at this point in time was away tending sheep. You see, when God has selected you, nobody can take your blessing away from you. But you need to stay committed in building your character so that you are aligned with whom God has designed you to be. We see that David is committed in small responsibilities that he has before him. He's committed in waking up early in the morning to go and tend sheep, because that is what he has before him. To God, this is a test, because he has to be committed to every responsibility he has before him in order to take care of God's people and to become good king. He has defeated a lion. He has defeated a bear. And we see him defeating the giant Goliath because of his ability to harness his skills and his talents during his moments of solitude. You see, solitude is very important. I'm not saying let's not keep family and friends closer. Let's not listen to each other. But I am saying find time for self, because God's call is revealed during your moment of reflection as an individual. Mary was given her message when she was alone. An angel appeared to her when she was alone. Jesus Christ himself had to be alone quite a number of times for him to fuel himself and to refill his energy such that he is well equipped for his call. You see, everybody has to find time for self in order to face the life's vicissitudes with such a gallantry attitude, so that they are intact and are indeed alive.